Want to begin by talking about the tightrope that you've had to walk since the Jerry Sandusky arrest. As the state attorney general who oversaw the formation of the grand jury, there are just some things about the investigation you can't talk about, and we understand that. And I'm going to try to make sure I don't ask you those types of questions, but if I do, I know you'll won't be shy.
I won't hesitate to tell you can't go there.
But as governor, you did have a responsibility to do exactly what you did. Go to Penn State, be with the Board of Trustees, and be a liaison to the media at the same time. Talk a little bit about that awkwardness of wearing those two caps at one time.
Well, actually, the awkwardness began before, because this whole year, as this grand jury continued, I had different relationships going on with Penn State, and this was going on, and I could not tell anybody. I couldn't tell the Board of Trustees what was coming, so that was certainly awkward. And I was, somewhat disappointed that people didn't see some newspaper stories before and maybe ask more questions. But I could not.
Would you have answered them if they had asked?
No, I couldn't say, yes, there is, no, there isn't, because, as you know, in my role as Attorney General, we never confirm the existence of an investigation until it's completed. And as you know, this one's not completed. But I was able to take them through the process of grand juries and through the fact that grand jury investigations can continue even after the presentment, and this one more than likely is not. I mean, it's continuing. I haven't talked to the Attorney General, and nor would she be able to tell me whether it's a continuing grand jury investigation. But if you call in her press conference, she said it's a continuing investigation.
She did.
So I'm going to assume that the grand jury can still hear more testimony that could lead to more people, and it may not lead anywhere. In the conversations, tried to explain to them what I legally could explain to them and answer their questions. But as you know, I also dealt with the media quite a bit up there. Penn State is a great institution. I was very, very proud of the way that the young men and women who attend there, the students, other than the few, as I called them on Wednesday, knuckleheads.
Right. Yeah, the ones that overturned the van and
how they reacted to it, how they took a positive approach to it, understood this was an issue about the children, about the young boys who were harmed, how the student leaders led the response. In fact, in my opinion, actually led the response better than the administration did in the first days, because they were responding, and the administration had to deal with getting new leadership in, and as you know, President Erickson has taken over. But I was very proud of the way those men and women had the vigil on Friday night, how they reacted on Saturday at the games. Or at the game. I went to the game. I don't think there was a dry eye in the house there.
That scene, the pregame scene, was touching.
It was.
I was very glad that they included that in the broadcast of the game on TV.
And oftentimes in scenarios like this, as you hear people talk about it and comment on it, I keep thinking of the phrase, throw out the baby with the bathwater. I think a lot of people would like to do that. Well, we got to start all over. You cannot put blame on people who had nothing to do with it, nor even a responsibility to it. And that's particularly the case of the students and the student athletes.
Here's the first question that you might not be able to answer, but is there anything you can tell us about the Board of Trustees in their talks and how difficult the decision was for them with regard to Coach Paterno and President Graham Spanier?
I can't go into the conversations in there. I believe that those are confidential conversations. Otherwise, if people started coming out and repeating what was going on in there, you wouldn't have that free and open dialogue.
But was it difficult for them?
I believe it was. You're talking about people who have been, in the case of the president, there for, 16, 17, 18 years, and Joe, 61 years. Yeah. So, human nature tells you it's going to be difficult.